Ever noticed how some beliefs feel like concrete boots holding you back, making you terrified of swimming alone? So many people have no idea what their beliefs are, but often become identified with those very same beliefs. A belief is a perception you've repeated enough times that your nervous system now treats it as if it's fact and absolute truth. And even worse, sometimes you become identified with that part as if it's actually a part of your identity structure. This is exactly why you and many other people get so damn triggered the moment that someone shares the opposite or conflicting belief. Hey, I'm David Sarkany, and this is R.Y.S E, where I teach you how to raise your standards everywhere in order to create your dream life. Today, we're talking all about how beliefs are formed in your mind unconsciously and what to do if some of those beliefs start to become self-limiting. The first thing I want to talk deeper into in regards to beliefs is, why does it matter to know what our beliefs are? And that reason is because a lot of people hold conflicting beliefs about themselves and generally everything else in the world. No one single human has all the information on all the topics in line with all the social constructs such as morality, religion, politics, or even money. But don't a lot of them just love shoving it down people's throats like they have the only correct answer thanks to their biased belief system? This is why it's so damn important to understand what your ideas and beliefs actually are, so you don't stay attached to emotional perceptions that you think are rooted in objective truth, even though every human is having a subjective experience and therefore cannot be objectively true. Staying married to emotional perceptions that become beliefs that end up becoming your identity is a surefire way of staying in a fixed mindset, trapping you in a paradigm or reality that isn't empowering or allowing you to experience your full expression of who you could be. That's why you identify what your belief systems are through individual areas of life. This is the part of the video where I suggest that you grab a pen and paper and start doing the work alongside of me. Nothing changes in your life until you start working those perceptions and projections and start to reassemble reality and not the delusional fantasy that you have in your mind. This exercise is the part that I said that's going to blow your mind. Hey, Editing Dave here. In the initial video, I didn't explain it very well. It made sense in here, but didn't come out well on camera. So we're going to do it again. What I want you to do, grab an A4 piece of paper. What you're going to do first is have it portrait. You're going to draw a line in the very middle of it, splitting it into two halves. Now, the main thing that we're going to be working on here is money beliefs, because most people have a lot of financial hang-ups subconsciously. So we're going to work on essentially neutralizing that polarity when it comes to money. You can do this for every area of life, and I use Dr. John Demartini's model because it kind of breaks things down very easily into 7 areas. So it's mental, physical, relational, vocational, which is like business and career and stuff like that. Then you've got financial, spiritual, and social. All of those areas you can break up into more detailed versions of them, but that's what we're going to stick with. So let's jump into finance, because I can guarantee you've got some financial hang-ups and some limiting beliefs around money, much like I had many years ago. The top half is going to be positive, bottom half is going to be negative. It's also going to be known as good and bad, and it's going to be about money. You're going to list all of the beliefs, stories, sayings, superstitions that you have around money. You're going to list them on either side. So a positive belief around money is that money can make you generous. Money can allow you to buy nice things for your family. Money can take you on holidays, so on and so forth. Money can, invested well, can create compound interest, which can create generational wealth, so on and so forth. If you've got a lot of negative beliefs around money, they go down in the bad side. So the way that you're going to write it, it's going to be something like this. I've just finished a list of my old money beliefs. These are the things that used to hold me back something fiercely because I was always pissing away money. I could never figure out how to keep it, how to grow it, why people could accumulate such vast fortunes with seemingly no effort whatsoever when it came to the financial markets. So what did I do? I did this process here, and I started becoming financially empowered by reversing my polarity and my belief systems around money being bad. So some of them, I'll read out the list. It's money doesn't grow on trees. Money's hard to come by. You have to work hard for your money. Rich people are assholes. Only greedy people are rich. Money is the root of all evil. Now, if you have things in your life and things in your mind such as this, they are holding you back. They're holding you back from financial prosperity, from abundance, creating generational wealth, and setting yourself and your family up for success in the future, especially if there's going to be hard times. I know I used to live my life by, week to week, paycheck to paycheck, honestly, client to client. There was so many times where I almost went bankrupt because my ADHD ass loves spending money. I'm very impulsive. I love buying things for my family. I like buying gym equipment. I like buying supplements. I like buying all the things that are in line with my values, and I would piss money away because I didn't feel like I deserved money. so it was easier to just like spend it on things. That's why we're doing this. You want to get those sorts of behaviors, those sorts of subconscious programming out of the way. So what we're going to do, we're going to work on these. How many bad beliefs around money do you actually have? Is it slightly more than the good side, or is it terribly lopsided with tons of bad beliefs overwhelming the good beliefs? Do you see why you have money problems? It's no wonder, because you don't think money is good at all, judging by the amount of negative things that you've written down. How do I know this? Because money is one of the primary limiting beliefs that I work with a lot of my clients on. So many people have terrible money beliefs because they perceived whatever struggles, arguments, financial crisis when they were children. That created a set of stories in your head around money. That created a belief system. Now, anytime you get money, you spend it on a bunch of stupid stuff because you have no true value for it in your life. So you've written down whatever good or bad beliefs you have around money. What do you actually want to do about it? Much like last week with linking the lower priority items and tasks to our highest values, we need to do a similar conscious, unconscious linking process here. This is something that you must work for yourself. Just watching the video, getting the knowledge of how to do it does absolutely nothing for your unconscious mind. Now grab another piece of paper, and for every bad belief you have around money, I want you to list a minimum of 20 benefits of evidence that you have directly perceived and experienced firsthand. Don't do any secondhand knowledge. Don't do any stories that you've heard from other people, because you can't actually verify it. Now, when you're listing the opposite side, so the positive side of your bad money beliefs, I want you to fully immerse yourself in the memories of those experiences. I want you to take it back in your mind, see it through your own eyes, hear it, and feel it deep in your body right now, so you can get all of these senses going and see as close to objective truth as possible. Now, when you start working these things, you're going to get to a place of gratitude where hopefully you can get a tear of inspiration to come out from your eye. As Dr. John Demartini says, the tear of inspiration and gratitude is the way that you know that you've truly collected onto something that is divine in nature, that has no polarity, because everything is divine, in line, and right on time. It's happening by you, for you. But because of our perceptions, we are unconscious to the positive side, but we're very conscious to the downsides. And that's the idea of working it. You make sure that you neutralize the perception so that you can see that money is what it is. It's just money. It doesn't have anything behind it other than the story and the perceptions of it. For example, you might have said rich people are arseholes. So what are a minimum of 20 times that you've perceived rich people being caring, kind, compassionate, generous, and all the other adjectives that you've seen and experienced in your life? And if you can't think of any, this is your chance for you to dig deeper, to actually work it even harder, because your unconscious mind is trying to shield you and keep you biased because you get some kind of gain out of the negative belief that you're experiencing. I'm going to use an example of one of my friends. I was working with him in 2024 sometime, and he paid $1,500 up front for him and his wife to do some coaching with me. She had some health complications and needed to go take care of that, and he had to go take care of her. Then a couple of months after, they were going over to the Philippines to live. Now, because he paid me up front, and because he's quite wealthy and quite generous, and honestly one of the best dudes you'll ever meet, he said to me, "Don't worry about it, Dave. You keep the money. It's all good." What am I meant to do with that? I graciously accepted it because I could see the look on his face when I said, "No, man, I'll give you the refund. I'll give you it back." He was mortified. He's like, "What are you talking about? I'm being generous and you're blocking the generosity right now." Because of that, I accepted the money and I held the gratitude in my heart for that moment. And I deeply love him. He's a great bloke because he's so generous with his time, with his ears, and with his wallet as well. He can actually do something about the circumstances in the world because he's so generous with his money. So back in 2022, when all of the crazy floods that were happening in Australia, specifically around northern New South Wales, Lismore, Murwillumbah, Mullumbimby, so on and so forth, I saw a post that was going viral from a couple of entrepreneurs on the Gold Coast and Southeast Queensland, talking about how they were going to give up all of their time, their resources, boats, helicopters, jet skis, so on and so forth, so they could save people from the rising floodwaters, because there was no government intervention, there was no military deployed, there was nothing to help these people in 2022 when the floods were happening. So what they did, they created a hell of a lot of generosity. They created a GoFundMe page that got upwards of $190,000 within a couple of weeks, just from locals that saw the post go viral and were like, "Yeah, I can do something about this too. I can donate financially." Now, doesn't that show you some really positive examples of how rich people can be really generous, kind, compassionate, caring, put together systems and people so that they can help so that they can serve. Nothing is always one thing. And that's what a lot of the belief systems are based on in your mind. You think that there's only this one way. And the idea about working it deliberately is so that you collapse the polarity down, because you're no longer going to be conscious of the negative but unconscious to the positive. You're going to be able to see complete neutrality where you go, oh, money just is. Rich people just are. Whatever it is, I don't have a charge to it anymore. It doesn't affect me viscerally, emotionally, mentally anymore. And now I can get on with my life. And if anything, I can probably have some better financial success in my life because I now have a neutral value around money instead of having a negative value around money. So these are just two of my vast examples of rich people being generous, kind, compassionate, caring, so on and so forth. I want you to continue working it with your own examples. Like I said, you need to get a minimum of 20 positives for every negative perception that you have. So if you wrote down 10 negatives, that's a minimum of 200 perspectives that you need to do in order to neutralize the polarity. That's why doing the work can be so challenging, because if you're fixated on everything being always bad, never good, this being shit, never great, that's your perception. And if your perception is that polarized, the amount of work that you need to do to reduce the amount of charge on those events it's quite big, because you're so polarized. I can't do it for you. You have to want this. You have to want to do it. You have to work it till it's complete, till the point you can pretty much get boredom and gratitude from it. Boredom from the point where, like, yeah, I get it. Like, rich people are okay. And at the same time, I'm also grateful for money now because I see the worth of it. I see where my stories were holding me back. Keep working it until you feel that moment. Keep working it until you go, okay, cool, like money's actually pretty good. Because money is one of the greatest exchanges of wealth, resources, energy that you can have in this modern age. So what's the reason that I started with self-limiting beliefs first? Most people that are feeling stuck, limited, or having a really hard go at life have a polarized misperception of events that create stories that eventually create the personalities that they have that reflect the unbalanced and polarized moments in time. Excuse this massive run-on sentence, but it's the way that majority of people's minds work to keep the current paradigm of relative safety alive and present. This mismatched perception then infects the way that they perceive themselves and others, locks them into dogmatic ideological thinking, which removes all nuance and any kind of discussion or other perspectives being valid and true. All of a sudden, they're living this life where this person or event is only bad, never good, always negative, never positive. Nothing ever works out for them because they're always having bad things happen to them, especially when they try to do their best. They stop doing the behaviors and actions that eventually will reach success by chopping their own legs from out underneath them. And then that limiting belief is grown even further because they have more evidence of the self-sabotage that they've done to themselves, because their minds are so polarized into believing that one thing is only true. It's both. It's always both. But it's our perceptions that are the things that are holding us back and stopping us from thriving. Our minds are great at doing one thing, and that's keeping us safe. So if you have a bunch of negative beliefs around whatever it is, specifically money in this example, that's going to hold you safe, because that's going to show you, well, it wasn't safe when I was a kid, or whatever your story and belief system is. So why would I believe that that's going to be safe doing the opposite in my adult life? It just doesn't work that way. So the idea is to work it until it's complete. Work it until it's no longer holding a charge, until you no longer have these limiting beliefs and stories around, billionaires being only bad, never good. Go out and look for the evidence. You need the evidence so that you can reduce the amount of polarity, so that you're not polarized and you're not living by a limiting belief, limiting story that's holding you back from your greatest expression of your life. Your beliefs aren't you. They're just love stories that you've told to yourself about what's safe. When are you going to love yourself enough to let go of that old story and start writing an intentional love story that is created by you, for you, and inspires you every day to move towards greatness? There are so many ways that you can rewire these limiting beliefs, such as affirmations, meditation, hypnosis, or doing the Demartini method on them. The only way that affirmations actually work is if you teach your body what those powerful words actually mean by feeling the words, their meanings, and visualizing what your life would look like when you start believing that they are true. Let's lock in together and transform our lives into something worth living by doing exactly what R.Y.S.E stands for, and that is to raise your standards everywhere. In the next video, we'll be talking all about that very same topic of standards and how to raise them effectively. Thank you for being here. Much love, take care, and until I see you on the next one, make sure you keep working your unconscious. Keep doing the work. Keep showing up for your better self.